But we're talking about the RNC. We're taking your calls at 702-257-5396. And we didn't get a chance to play a little clip from Lou Holtz, who he ain't looking too good these days. I got to be honest with you. He's starting to look like the Crypt Keeper. I'm just saying. He's starting to talk like the Crypt Keeper, and he looks like the Crypt Keeper. But hey, what better person to talk about race relations than a guy has been making boatloads of money off of a bunch of 18 and 19-year-old black kids his whole life. So former Notre Dame coach Lou Holtz says that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are radical pro-abortionists. Have a listen to this.
I ask myself three things. One, can I trust them? When a leader tells you something, you got to be able to count on it. That's President Trump. He says what he means what he says. And he's done what he said he would do at every single turn. One of the important reasons he has my trust is because nobody has been a stronger advocate for the unborn than President Trump. The Biden-Harris ticket is the most radically pro-abortion campaign in history. They and other politicians are Catholics in name only.
That's exactly right.
If you ask me, I think Joe Biden needs to give him a call. He might have an issue with getting those words out. People want to talk about Joe Biden. He might not know where he is. I'm not sure Holtz knows where he's. I think he thinks he's watching the Super Bowl from 1965. But
he doesn't sound that different from when he was a gamecaster,
all right,
a commentator on college football.
I'm just saying, if there's anybody that I would want Joe Biden to call and help him with a speech impediment, it would be Lou Holtz.
I mean, Lou Holtz is. What is he? 90 years old? 95?
He looks like the Crypt Keeper.
Yeah, he's not. I mean, obviously, the guy's at least 85, 90 years old. I mean, he's going to have a little bit of wear and tear on his body. And
get him out. And
that's going to come back. That's going to come through his mental acuity. But he made some pretty decent points there.
Get Lou Holtz out of the basement. Get Lou Holtz out of the bunker.
I thought he actually sounded better than Biden does a lot of the time.
I disagree. Yeah, somebody get Lou Holtz out of the bunker. Get him out of the basement, Lou Holtz.
Come on, hey, do you think? Hey, do you think that if Lou Holtz had an interview with Anderson Cooper, that he would be looking over at a script in an actual interview with someone like Anderson Cooper?
So you want to talk about Joe Biden now?
Yesterday, what happened with him? Yeah.
So we're having fun with Lou Holtz, and you want to talk about Joe Biden?
Oh, well, you brought up Joe Biden.
I will answer that question.
And so if you bring him up, I'm going to follow through with it. We don't have to. We can stop on that if you'd like to. That's fine with me. I'm totally fine with that.
I will answer that question.
Whatever you want to do, Brian.
And say that in the history of politics, particularly people that are in their 70s, a lot of them have notes in front of them. And I don't have a problem with Joe Biden doing that so long as his answers are.
He was reading a script. You could tell his eyes.
Okay, well, Donald Trump did that for how long last night?
He was reading a script that he knew the answer, that he already knew the answers to and the questions from on a one-on-one interview with Anderson Cooper.
Sure,
Brian.
So I'll respond to that again.
And in that interview, he said that Donald Trump wants more violence. Donald Trump, which is 100% false. You called Joe Biden. You called Donald Trump a liar. That's a blatant lie. Donald Trump has gone out of his way. Every single time when there's any civil unrest, any violence whatsoever, he says to the mayor of these cities immediately, we're talking Portland, New York, Chicago, Kenosha, or whatever it is, he says, I will give you federal help. And they refuse it. The last thing Donald Trump wants is violence.
Okay, so
Joe Biden is using that as an effort to pander, and it just makes him look very, very unintelligent and ignorant in the process.
I didn't think we were going to go on a Joe Biden tangent, but I will respond to you, and I would say I would rather have somebody like Joe Biden reading from a script than somebody like Donald Trump off script talking about possibly injecting yourself with disinfectant and telling members of the squad, 3 of which were born in the United States of America, to go back to where they came from.
But we're not talking about that right now.
Well, you know what? We weren't talking about Joe Biden, but you decided to bring that up.
Actually, you brought it up.
No, I didn't bring up Joe Biden.
You did.
In a joking fashion. I wasn't talking about his reading. I was talking about
with Holtz.
Okay, well, you know what? If you're going to bring up Joe Biden and you want to talk about how he can't read in scripts, I'm going to bring up Donald Trump and the fact that he says idiotic, racist, misogynistic, and stupid things when he's off script.
And a lot of these things are taken well out of context, and they are pushed by the media as a way to get people
didn't want to get on this tangent.
Dislike Donald Trump instead of reporting the positive things he's done, which thankfully
didn't want to get on this
he
tangent.
did talk about yesterday during his speech.
Didn't want to get on this tangent, but since you bring that up, when I talk about the squad, 3 of the 4 have been born in the United States of America. When he said go back to where you came from, please tell me how I am misrepresenting the facts. Please tell me how I'm misrepresenting the facts there as I read his quote verbatim.
He was totally incorrect. He didn't. He thought that they weren't born in the United States.
Well, you just brought up misrepresentation, and I just gave you 2 things of 100 things I could bring up.
Okay,
I don't misrepresent the facts.
What about Joe Biden talking about
the problem is every time you start a sentence,
if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Well, that's what you just did, Brian.
Whataboutism.
You can do whataboutism, but I can't do whataboutism.
You brought up Joe Biden. You brought up
You brought up Joe Biden.
You brought up Joe Biden. You brought up him reading in an interview with Anderson Cooper, and my simple opinion was as follows. And
I brought up one thing Biden said, which was very, very untrue and very dumb for him to say.
I'll say it one more time, and then we will move on. I would rather have a president of the United States be on track by having notes in front of him than have a president being unscripted, embarrassing himself in the country, talking about injecting yourself with disinfectants, and telling people who were born in this country to go back to where they came from.